Hey everybody, welcome to Striving for Light. My name's Anthony. Um, I just want to talk to people about like a little bit of my testimony, kind of like what I've been going through. Um, I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? I still struggle with things, like everybody. Um, so it's kind of just like what I like, so people avoid the same mistakes I made, pretty much. And forgive me, I'm a little nervous in front of the camera, so just bear with me, all right? But basically, what I want to talk about is like how I came to God, and how I came to and understanding that God does exist. Because for a long time I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in nothing. I was kind of just empty. And I felt like somewhere inside of me, like, oh, that's fine. You know what I mean? You don't really need a purpose. You know what I mean? You kind of do things. You know what I mean? But I think I was more empty than I thought. You know what I mean? I was more apathetic and kind of just not feeling right. You know what I mean? Deep down. But you know what I mean? You just kind of push it down because what's the point? Everything's meaningless anyway. I kind of was just walking aimlessly, doing drugs, and just not doing right. You know what I mean? Just doing drugs, not caring about nobody. I mean, not that I didn't care about nobody. It's just like I was just so stuck in my own ways. You know what I mean? That uh, it didn't really. I didn't think about that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I was just walking aimlessly, doing drugs, um, and yeah, I was one time I started thinking about stuff. You know what I mean? I started having like deeper thoughts. You know what I mean? Because I always thought deep. You know what I mean? At least I thought deep. You know what I mean? Worldly knowledge, but and like thought rationally, or at least tried to my own little way. You know what I mean? But things started to happen toward for me. You know what I mean? Like things started to change up. You know what I mean? People started like coming against me, but like in real covert ways. You know what I mean? Like people would say like things under their breath or like this or that, and I would just look at them and like, did you really say that? And like I knew they were really saying that, but then I was like, I didn't know how to address it because in my mind I'm like, oh, they want me to think I'm crazy. You know what I mean? And some people that haven't gone through this, you're gonna you might see this and be like, oh man, this guy's nuts. You know what I mean? But uh, I know a little bit better. But yeah, so this was happening, right? And so I just didn't really know how to address it without, you know what I mean? Because like a couple times I tried to say some stuff about it, but then I got shut down. You know what I mean? As you would, you know what I mean? Because like some people just don't go through this unless you've been through this. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's like these people that come together and just like try to bring you down. I don't know if they what exactly they got some spirits in them that ain't right, but we'll talk a little bit more in the future. Let me just get on track here. But yeah, so I was walking aimless. This was started going on, and I was just confused about it. And me as a person, like especially in the past, you know, what I mean, I was very instigated. You know, what I mean, like if you're gonna say things about me, I would try to like, you know, what I mean, like, all right, do you think that? And I would just say some crazy stuff. You know, what I mean, just to like excite them. You know, what I mean, like, oh yeah, yeah, now, you know, what I mean, like, you know, what I mean, make it worse for me. But I thought I was just being it for them. But really, what they want is for people to see you in that state of when they're attacking you. They want you to freak out online or in public. You know what I mean? Because then that paints an image of you. That paints an image of you of who you are. So I was feeding into exactly kind of what they wanted me to do. You know what I mean? I wasn't like super. I wasn't afraid really. Like they were trying to make me like, you know what I mean? Try to make me like feel afraid. But I really didn't. It didn't bother me because they weren't. You know what I mean? Stuff was happening, but I was just like I would just deny it. You know what I mean? And like yeah, but I'll get more into that story when I talk about the whole testimony in general. You know what I mean? Just make sure you don't if you ever go through something like this, so you're just getting like organized harassment going on. Don't don't do what I did. You know what I mean? And just turn to God. If you're going through this right now, that's what you need to do. You need to turn to God. You need to open yourself up. You know what I mean? Of course, I didn't do that because I didn't believe in God at the time. So this was going on for a little bit, right? You know what I mean? And whatever. So I was just kind of doing my own thing. You know what I mean? Just going about my business. You know what I mean? Being a thief. You know what I mean? Just I didn't have no money. Didn't have no motivation to get money. So I was just steal like what I mean? Just be an idiot, man. And so I was getting high and doing my own thing. But one day I was out. I started thinking about things. Started questioning like something came from nothing, just like the Big Bang and everything. Like it's like I can believe that and how much faith that takes. but I can't believe that there was a God that created it. All this stuff that came into being, the the, the probability of that is just even more, takes even more faith than any of that other stuff. So I was thinking about that too. So this was in my mind as I'm going through this stuff, because this was that I didn't know at the time, but that's God putting stuff in my mind. You know what I mean? I didn't know at the time. You know what I mean? And I started thinking about stuff, and I started thinking about the evil in the world. You know what I mean? And like seeing all this like stuff about like how everything's getting switched around, like basic truths are no longer basic truths anymore in the world. Like we got all this like these movements of like people are what they're not, you know what I mean? And we got to like agree with that. And I was like, why is things like this? You know what I mean? And I was starting to think like, man, and I started thinking like the concept of God, like ever since, like just that's how I thought about it at the time. Like I was thinking it as a concept. Like it seems like the more we move away from that concept, the weirder the world gets. You know what I mean? Because you know how the world is now. It's like you know what I mean. The most growing religion they say is a non-religion. You know what I mean? Atheism. So yeah, so I was going through all that, and so those thoughts were on my mind, right? And I remember one day I was sitting out in like Cleveland. I was just give my location out here, but I was sitting out, you know, in the city, and I started. I saw something, you know. I mean, I can't remember exactly what I saw, but something about God, and like I was thinking about it or something, and I was like, man, that's for some reason, like in my head, dude, I was like, that probably is true, you know what I mean? It probably is true. I don't know what made me say that. In my like, I said it out loud too. I was just like, that probably is true, but I still didn't like, you know what I mean? After that, it was kind of like, all right, let it go. And then I had a dream one night, you know what I mean? It's like a vision or a dream, and in the dream, I saw, I guess like a figure of God manifested. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly what it looked like, so I can't like give you like details. But he was telling me like some stuff that I went through, and I'll talk more about like some of the deeper stuff I went through in another time. But he was telling me like some of the stuff I went through, and he was like almost confirming it. Like, yeah, people were coming up against this guy, and they were getting mad because it wasn't affecting this guy, me, like they thought it should. You know what I mean? And so they're getting upset. They were like, what the heck's going on? And then he told me that he wrote a book, and it was a love story. That's his word, the Bible. So the Bible is his word. And you know, we all have dreams and stuff, but like sometimes you just know something's different about something. So tell me that was his word, and that like, but he also said it's interesting to see what they come up with. That's what it said. It's just interesting to see what they come up with. So I'm guessing he just means people in general. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting to see what we come up with. But that is his word. So that happened, right? And after that, you know, I mean, I didn't think too much of it. You know what I mean? You know, stuff happens, and you're just like, well, all right. I didn't think too much of it at the time, so I kept walking. You know what I mean? I ended up in another city. Somehow I got shipped off out there, and I went to a psychiatric hospital, and because that's what I was doing at the time. You know what I mean? I would just like get so burned out on the street doing drugs, being homeless, that I was just like, I'll go to a psychiatric hospital. That's kind of what I did. And so I got shipped up to another city, man. I was out there, you know what I mean? Just, and stuff was even getting weirder, dog. Like I'm talking about people were coming up, like following me around and stuff. And I was like, what the heck? So one day I said something. I was like, hey, what's up with all this group stuff, man? It's been going on for too long. What's going on? And man, this dude freaked out like I was about to attack him, man. Like he freaked out, you know what I mean? And I wasn't gonna attack him, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna say like I wasn't starting to get upset about it, you know what I mean? I was about to go, you know what I mean? I was getting a little angry, and that's not something that happens to me, you know what I mean? I don't get really upset, but no, he came at me and he like grabbed a knife. He was about to like stab me, man. But I was like, I looked into his eyes and I saw like, wait a minute, he ain't gonna stab me. So I like took a closer step to him, and he's like, he freaked out even more. So I left. I was like, all right, well, you ain't gonna tell me. And I was gonna walk away, but then I came back a little bit later, and I talked to this other guy. I tried to talk to this other guy, and it just didn't work out, man. He freaked out too, like I was about to kill him or something. Like I'm talking about, like he started yelling, and I wasn't gonna do nothing like that. I was just kind of like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this? And so anyway, so that all happened, and it's just like a whole organized, like shenanigans. You know what I mean? Just I don't even know. But so that was going on, and yeah, I was still wandering aimlessly. You know what I mean? After that, you know what I mean? I was just getting high and just walking across town. You know what I mean? Not I was going to stores like bookstores because I like books. That's kind of like what I enjoyed. You know what I mean? And I thought, and I had hospitals tell me I was sick, and like I literally felt sick. But then I would go to another one and they'd be like, "Nah, dude, what are you talking about, dude? You don't got nothing." I literally was told I had a growth in my lung at one hospital, and then I went to one hospital somewhere else in the other city I was at, and they're like, "No, there's nothing in your lung, dude. What are you talking about?" And I was like, "What?" And literally, I was sitting outside, and I felt a weight lift off my lung, like a weight, like literally the psychological damage of like them telling me that, literally made me feel. But I think I had COVID at the time. I was getting like pus in my eyes, and it was gross, dude. I don't know what was going on, but the psychological like of that like made me think, like the power of suggestion is really a real thing. So after they told me that, I was sitting outside and I literally just felt like a weight lift off me, like in my lung, like there's nothing there. And I was like, what is going on? And I'm talking this battle is spiritual more than anything. You know what I mean? These people that do this stuff, you know what I mean? They obviously got something going on, but like deep down, it's more spiritual. You know what I mean? They let the bitterness and the envy get to them, or like whatever they got going on. I don't understand why anyone would be envious of me. I got nothing. I had never had nothing, but they let some get to them, and then that's how the devil uses them. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't notice at the time. I mean, I've just been figuring this out since I came to God. So I was walking aimlessly, and one day I was walking. I had been to this hotel room, man. I had acquired some like these demon tarot cards. You know what I mean? Like, because I was into that. You know what I mean? And not really. I didn't really know too much about it. I just like the aesthetic. You know what I mean? I wrote stories. I'm a writer, and I'd write like stories and stuff about, you know what I mean, that stuff. And I guess I made it seem pretty legit. You know what I mean? I'm a decent writer. I mean, I hope I don't sound too prideful saying it, but you know what I mean? I'm a decent writer. But I used to have like I had a whole character built. You know what I mean? Especially on Instagram. Don't look at that. It's stupid. You know what I mean? I was just goofy. I didn't realize how my negativity brings people down. Your negativity, like when we don't speak life into the world, man, it brings people down. And I didn't really realize at the time, you know what I mean? Because it didn't affect me. I was so empty, it didn't affect me like that. You know what I mean? It was just, unless, I mean, maybe it did affect me in a way, but like I didn't think about it like that. You know what I mean? I was kind of doing my own thing. So, yeah, man, one day after I went to this hotel room, man, and I was messing with these cards, you know what I mean? Just kind of laid them out, put it like on a mirror. I actually went to this hotel room. It was literally open. I literally walked in this hotel room, just sitting open. It was unlocked. So I went in there, locked it up. It was a motel. And went in there, locked it up, put the tarot cards out, man, set them up. You know what I mean? And you know, he was just messing around with that. You know what I mean? Just being a sicko. You know what I mean? Watching porn all night. You know? And I know that's like gross to say, but you know what I mean? I was just like, I was real bad into lust. You know what I mean? Something I still struggle with. You know, we're not perfect. You know what I mean? I still smoke cigarettes too. I had to hype myself up by smoking like 5 cigarettes. You know what I mean? I'm not saying cigarettes are going to lead you down the path of death. I'm just saying like some things are just, you just know they're not good, man. Like putting something in your lungs, it's not good. So sorry about that. I get distracted, but yeah. So I was just like, man, it was nuts, man. And yeah. So I was in this hotel room and I started hearing things, man. Like some like in a different fashion, man. It was just like these like voices, man. These evil type voices, man. They were saying just messed up things. Like I'm not really gonna repeat what they're saying, but like just like juvenile things, like an edgy person like me in the past would have said about. They were saying things about Jesus, right? But it was like edgy stuff, like a little teenager would say. You know what I mean? Like when you're trying to be edgy and like freak people out. You know what I mean? They were saying stuff like that. And in my head, I was like, what? That's like like it just turned me off to the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Is that what demons are about? You know what I mean? They're about that edgy stuff. You know what I mean? I thought it'd be something different. You know what I mean? But yes, I heard that and I was like, what? So it was like it kind of turned me off to the whole thing, man. And I left that hotel room the next morning. And I was walking, and I ran into this person, man, and I was talking to him. They were just giving me food and stuff, and like for some reason, like like these thoughts about like revelations and stuff were going through my head. It sounds crazy, man. I was smoking weed at the time, so you know what I mean. So they started going through my head, man. And I was just eating the stuff this person gave me, just food after food. For some reason, they were just giving me food, and I just had these like revelation thoughts. And like after that, Ludo, was like, God's real, dog. Like that was like the moment. I was kind of like, God's real. Even though after that, I still did stupid stuff. I went to the store and I got caught stealing orange juice. I got caught stealing orange juice, and I went to jail, man. And that's when I went to jail out in somewhere, and then I was transferred to a different jail because I had warrants out in a different city. So I went to that jail and started reading the Bible, like getting into it. And I was like, just really getting into it, man. Like I would have like these dreams about like stuff like this weird like thing. It kind of looked like a human, but it had like big eyes, and it would tell me I was gonna die of a heart attack or something. You know what I mean? Trying to scare me or something like. And I was like, what is going on? Like my whole reality shattered after that. You know what I mean? Because it was like, and I was seeing things in the Bible, like when these people were talking about this and that, like stuff I was going through. And I can't say like, you know what I mean? Because I did instigate some of those situations. So I was probably making people, so people were like twisting stuff, you know what I mean? Like telling people stuff, you know what I mean? Like about you, and like try to twist things, you know what I mean? Like, and like project their own insecurities onto you, me. But obviously I had a role to play in that because I was like, you know what I mean? Every now and then I'd instigate it, you know what I mean? Trying to freak them out when really I didn't realize that like the goal of the people that started the whole thing, that's what they wanted me to do, you know what I mean? So more people would get involved. But yeah, I'm getting a little into that. But yeah, God is very real. I'm telling you this, God is very real. Yeah, Jesus Christ is the way. Like you gotta turn to Christ. You gotta like just come to Him, man. Go to Him, pray to Him, repent, all that stuff. All the stuff they all say. And it sounds cliche, but that's the way to go. So yeah, so let's see. I got some talking points. Is why I'm looking down. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I mean, yeah, God is good. Turn to God and all will be well. Thanks for listening. I know it was kind of rambly. Hopefully it gets better in the future. Keep doing this, and yeah, thanks for if you want to leave a like, you can. You want to subscribe, you can. I'm filming this on a phone right now. I really don't got much right at the moment, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure things out. Get my life together for real. So thanks for watching, and have a blessed day. Peace out.